With Raspberry Pis costing more and more, a 4GB Pi 5 will set you back £81.60 right now, and a Pi 4 is £72, plus another tenner for an SD card, and another tenner for a suitable power supply. I got to wondering if there was a better way, a cheaper way. And yeah, it turns out there is. This thing. This is a used thin client I bought for £27, and this is potentially a better option all round for your home server. Let me explain why you want one of these over a Pi any day. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that you know just how amazing self-hosting your own smart home system is compared to an always online, always connected, company hosted solution, and the benefits of running your own home storage and networking. Happily, this little thing lets you do everything you want, all from a machine you own and can never be shut down by a company who decides it isn't profitable to let you keep using your own damn light bulbs. And of course, Daddy Bezos can't watch you when you sleep. As for why this thing over a Raspberry Pi, well, let's start with what this actually is. This is a thin client, a mostly defunct class of small form factor PCs that are kind of all over the used market for crazy low money, yet can be remarkably capable. Thin clients were, and I'm sure in some markets and areas still are at least a bit, a way to have a whole bunch of systems for a variety of users, all secured from a centralized server. Basically, if you're a college, which is where I have the most experience with these sorts of things, with a revolving cast of students, you can either have hundreds of full-spec PCs that still virtualize the user's profiles on your central server anyway, or you can buy a bunch of these much smaller, cheaper, and lower power PCs that have the full OS virtualized on your centralized server. That's what this is for. It's a low power PC designed to have a central server be the source of the OS environment, so all the hardware in here has to do is, well, basically just display the image. But since work from home, Chromebooks, self-owned devices, and mobile devices, the need for these things is dwindling. So institutions and organizations are getting rid of these en masse, so they are available for fire sale pricing. A whole bunch of models are available at just around £30, which is less than half the price of either a Pi 4 or Pi 5. As for specs, the one I have here is an AMD GX 420CA quad-core with 4GB of RAM and 32GB of solid-state storage. Oh, and a Radeon HD 8400E graphics chip built in. That doesn't sound like much, and yeah, it isn't. Geekbench scores reckon it's less than half the speed of the Pi 5's chip, although it is slightly faster than the Pi 4. It doesn't draw all that much more power in the grand scheme of things, and it isn't exactly massive. But the benefits become clear when you see the I/O and the internals. This thing has USB 3, USB 2, Gigabit Ethernet, DisplayPort, and audio, and inside there is not only a little SSD, it's an old form factor SATA DOM, I think, SSD under the heatsink, but there's upgradable RAM and a spare SATA port in here too. And other models that are similarly sized also offer a half-height PCIe slot. That basically makes this a Zima board, but for 1/10 the price. This has enough power and expandability to run Home Assistant, Plex, Pi-hole, and even act as a little NAS for your home network. There is quite the range of little PCs like these. There are even much smaller Wise machines that have like 1 or 2 gigabytes of RAM and like 8 gigabytes of internal storage and aren't super easily upgradable, while options like the Fujitsu ones often include a PCIe slot and more SATA ports, so finding the right little mini PC thin client is a bit of an art. I'll throw up some examples on screen of the ones that I would recommend that at least cost less than a Pi, so you can, well, see what I recommend. Oh, and actually, thanks to an excellent write-up by David Parkinson, I've realized that there is actually a somewhat hidden mini or MPCIe slot up by that SATA port, which is sort of hidden under the heatsink, meaning if you find the right adapter, you absolutely can connect stuff like a Wi-Fi card, which is what that slot is originally for, or even adapters for networking cards or storage to this very model on top of a SATA SSD and obviously all of the existing connectivity. That's pretty cool. As for how to get this thing set up, especially with Home Assistant, it's remarkably easy. First, you will need a USB stick with Home Assistant flashed onto it. If you're on Windows, a tool called Rufus is great for this. Just download the HAOS generic x86 image file, unzip it, and then plug in your flash drive, use Rufus to flash it, plug it into this, plug in a monitor and a keyboard, and then boot it up. You will need to spam the delete key to get into the BIOS, and if you have a Wise system like this one from Dell, and it has a BIOS password, the default password is Fireport with a capital F, which worked for me. You want to enable USB boot and tweak a few of the other settings in here, then reboot, pressing F10 to save and restart. Spam P or F12 as it reboots to bring up the boot menu, as even when I changed the boot priority order, it still wouldn't boot from the USB stick, so you'll want to pick the USB drive, then give it a couple of minutes, and that's Home Assistant up and running. Head to the IP address that's listed on the screen, and away you go. To be clear, Home Assistant is currently running from your USB drive, not the internal drive. It didn't install. So if you do want to install HAS on the internal drive that's in here, you will need to instead burn a Linux ISO, ideally one which has live boot capabilities, and then write into the internal drive from your USB stick. Anyway, between this and a £30 sawn-off Zigbee dongle, you can have a full-scale off-grid home automation system, and it would still cost less than a Pi. From inside Home Assistant, through the now labelled apps, formerly add-ons, you can install Plex, stuff like Pi-hole, WireGuard or Tailscale, Vault Warden, and a load more options to make this not only your Home Assistant box, but your NAS, your media center, your password manager, ad blocker, and VPN all in one. It's a one-stop shop. If you want to find out more about how to set up Home Assistant, Zigbee, Matter over Thread, a VPN, or just how to connect devices to Home Assistant in general, check out my full playlist on the cards up above of setting my own smart home setup up and making that sort of available to you to learn alongside me as I set all this stuff up. As for this thing, I know that the Pi does have a load more options in terms of add-on devices. Stuff like microphone arrays, hell even motor controllers and just so much stuff. But for me, the unique thing, or this thing's unique selling points, is that it is a lot closer to being a home server than a Pi is, even with the Pi 5's 2 PCIe slots. That's still pretty limited. And that's what I'm looking for. And for such a low price point, well, I thought it'd be worth at least pointing these out as an option if you haven't considered them already. I do kind of wonder if there's a market for someone pre-installing Home Assistant on these and like selling them as a bundle with a Zigbee dongle as well, and maybe some of the add-ons sort of pre-installed to make it nice and easy and make it all work. But yeah, I really like these things. I think these are a great choice if you just want to get into, running your own smart home system. They're super easy and expandable and upgradable. And I really like that. Of course, those are my thoughts, but I'd love to hear yours in the comments down below. What do you think about this mini Dell Wise 7020 system and using thin clients as little home servers? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos like this one, you can hit the subscribe button. And like I said, check out the full playlist of smart home stuff on the end cards where I set up Home Assistant and a VPN and Zigbee and Matter over Thread and also multi-protocol. I set that up as well. So yeah, have a look at that if you're interested. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next video.